SOLIDWORKS 2021 has a huge set of new features and performance enhancements. Let's take a closer look at some of them right now. Parts are the building blocks of SOLIDWORKS designs. We use them to build up our assemblies as well as to make our drawings. And there are a couple of different areas of part design that have been enhanced in specific ways to meet user needs in SOLIDWORKS 2021. Let's start by looking at a sheet metal enhancement. This part needs some more stiffness, and what I like to do is I like to run an edge flange along the edge of the part. Now we could do this before as long as the curves on the edges were planar, but no longer is that a limitation. So now I can run an edge flange along all the tangencies, including the non-planar bend areas. This is an edge flange, so I have full control over all the things you normally would have control over, such as the direction, the length, the material position, bend position, etc. And now you can see I have constructed a much more stiff sheet metal bracket. Naturally, when we do this, we can get the flat pattern as part of the calculation as well. Now this has applications in a couple different areas. Stiffening is one area, but protection and guarding is another area too. So let's take this edge flange that we have here and make some changes to it. So I'm going to reverse its direction so that it's going to kind of more protect the area underneath the sheet metal cover here. And I'll also flare it out. I can maybe change the length as well. So now it's acting as a little bit of a guard as well as adding stiffness to my sheet metal cover. So that's a very often asked for application of the edge flange that now we can accommodate in SOLIDWORKS 2021. More and more often when people make parts in SOLIDWORKS, they're actually going to be manufactured through an additive process using a 3D printer. And to support that, SOLIDWORKS supports the 3MF industry file format, which is better than the older STL format because not only does it support the geometry, but it also brings along materials and appearances. So when we bring this thing into a color 3D printer, the colors are already on the parts and the printer can just go right away and create the parts in real life. Now, new in SOLIDWORKS 2021, we can bring 3MF files into our designs and use those files as parts in our assemblies. And we bring in not just the geometry, but we also bring in the colors and transparency all the way down to the facet and vertex levels, as well as we bring in any textures, any graphical textures that may be on the 3MF files as well. The Weldment Tools are one of my favorite areas of SOLIDWORKS design, and they're used by a variety of people around the world every single day. When you have tubes like this, where you have a mixture of rectangular and square tubes, which is common in the industry, we kind of limit it to how we can treat the corners. We could do an end butt either one direction or another, but the 45-degree miter doesn't really work out because the tubes are of dissimilar shapes. So now in 2021, we have a new option for the miter corner type, and that is the full flush miter option. So I turn that on, it'll just basically change the angle to be whatever it needs to be so that those two tubes come together flush. No extra workarounds or added modeling necessary. Now parts have colors, and it's really easy in SOLIDWORKS to change part colors by just using our color picker. We've had this forever. So I could choose from a number of different swatches built in the system. I could use the color slider there, or I could actually type in values for RGB or HSV. But a lot of times the color you want is just there. You don't know the RGB values of it, but you do know what it looks like because you have a picture of it, or it's on a web page, or it's in a PowerPoint or something like that. So now grabbing these colors and applying them to your SOLIDWORKS designs is super easy because you can just take the little eyedropper tool here in the color picker and you can put that on any pixel on your Windows desktop. So it doesn't matter if it's another software program, it could be a Word document, or in this case, a web page. I'll just pick up that corporate blue for my overall Weldment paint color, and maybe I want to pick up the orange for the uprights. So we'll just go ahead and select those uprights and their support gussets, and we'll grab that orange right off the web page. Simple, easy, and accurate. This is great for paint manufacturer websites, Pantone, things like that. Now, another thing that we've had forever in SOLIDWORKS are custom properties. Custom properties are what we use to convey non-graphical information like description, part number, who modeled it, etc. And we have a long sought after enhancement now implemented in SOLIDWORKS 2021 with regards to custom properties. Because now in SOLIDWORKS 2021, one of the ways we can fill in the information on a custom property is through equations. That's brand new in SOLIDWORKS 2021. Just set the type to our new option, which is equation, and it's just like any other equation in SOLIDWORKS. You have access to your global variables, your math functions, custom property information, etc. So if I have a global variable that defines a certain cost per weight of an operation, and I can just basically grab that global variable and multiply it by the mass of the part, and finished. Simple, easy, no workarounds or extra work needed. This also applies to cut list properties as well. So you can see those rectangular feet I have in the corners here where I want to find out what the overall length is of all four of those. I'll just make an equation and just grab the variables that show the quantity and as well as the custom property that shows the cut list bounding box length and just multiply them and we're done. So that's just some of what's new in SOLIDWORKS 2021. To find out more, go to www.gsc-3d.com today.